Disney, unlike other amusement parks, doesn't feature chain restaurants in their parks other than a couple of Starbucks locations. But 20 years ago, that was a whole lot different, since for 10 years from the late 90s until the late 2000s, Disney had McDonald's restaurants across all of their American parks. So today, I want to take a look back to the days of Disney McDonald's and talk about why they had them, where they were, and why they closed. So let's, of course, get started. In May of 1996, Disney and McDonald's announced a 10-year multi-divisional, multinational relationship, as they put it, effective start in 1997. As a part of this deal, McDonald's would carry Happy Meal toys related to new Disney movie releases, video releases, and events going on in their theme parks. And then the other side of this deal is that Disney agreed to bring McDonald's restaurants to all of their American theme parks. The main goal of this deal was that Disney would have a primary promotional partner in the restaurant industry, but also this helped McDonald's achieve their goal of getting into the Disney amusement parks, which Ray Kroc wanted to do many years before this deal. So that's why McDonald's was in Disney amusement parks for a certain period of time. But now let's take a tour of where these locations existed, starting off with the first to open at Disney World parks, starting off of course with the Epcot location. So at Epcot, they definitely got the lamest of the Disney McDonald's, but still it was interesting to see. Their McDonald's was of course located in the Canada Pavilion, and the restaurant was known simply as Refreshment Port. And at this location, you'd be able to find the iconic McDonald's fries, as well as a McFlurry and chicken nuggets. And in addition to these, you'd also be able to purchase Coke or Nestle drinks there. And look at photos of this, you can see it's nothing too crazy. Of course, had the McDonald's logo all around it, but overall the building just wasn't really that themed and was definitely the lamest McDonald's location, as I mentioned. Moving on to Magic Kingdom, where here you could actually find two McDonald's locations. The first one was known as the Village Fry and was located in Fantasyland, and there they sold McDonald's fries as well as hot dogs and some other snacks. It's also so strange how you're supposed to be in this fantasy type of area, but then you see a package of McDonald's fries on the sign, which just seems so random to find. Moving over from Fantasyland to Frontierland though, here you'd be able to find one of their fry-only locations, which is definitely one of the most unique McDonald's. It's supposed to be inside one of these old wagon-looking things, and overall it just looks so unique. And of course, like I mentioned, this was only fries that they served here, as well as drinks, which is so strange to have a stand that just sells fries, but overall, I love the look of this one. Moving on to Hollywood Studios, where here you'd be able to find only one location. It was known as Fairfax Fries, the name Fairfax of course referring to a street in Los Angeles. And this location was another one of their fry-only locations, only serving fries and drinks. And this is probably the location that from far away looked the most like it sold McDonald's stuff, especially with its sign there that had the big McDonald's logo on a box of fries on the sign. But overall, it's a nice looking stand, and overall, this is another cool looking one. And hopping over now to the last Disney World park, where at Animal Kingdom, not only did they have two McDonald's, but also the entirety of Dinoland was actually sponsored by McDonald's. The first location in Dinoland was known as Petrifries and was another one of the fry-only locations that only serve fries and drinks. And overall, this location, I love the sign of it, how it has this pterodactyl flying over it. But moving on from Petrifries, right around the corner, you'd be able to find Restrauntosaurus, which this is the one McDonald's location that doesn't outwardly look like it is a McDonald's. But inside here, they of course had a menu full of way more stuff than just fries. They sold cheeseburgers, hot dogs, chicken nuggets, McDonald's Happy Meals, and of course chicken salads. This location also sold beer, which I think makes it the only McDonald's restaurant in the US to ever sell beer. I don't think any others have, but that's kind of weird with this too. So that of course is all 6 locations they had at the East Coast parks. But now you're probably wondering, did they ever have them on the West Coast at Disneyland? Well, yes, they did add them in late 1998, about 8 months after they opened the ones at Disney World. The first of these ones at Disneyland was very similar to one of the ones at Disney World that's in Frontierland, where it's supposed to be this old West wagon. And this one at Disneyland was kind of that same idea and is located in Frontierland. Of course, this one was known as Westward Ho, Ho and featured a bit of a different design, but this of course was another one of their fry only locations that of course only sold fry and drinks. And overall this one, I love the look of it too, how it's more unique than just sort of a built-in location like lots of other McDonald's. And then the second location at Disneyland was located near Critter Country along the rivers of America and was of course known as the Harbour Galley. And this location is very weird because it's supposed to be this seafood sort of themed restaurant, but instead it sold exclusively McDonald's fries and drinks. And overall it's very strange, but I do love the look of this, and especially the old mural that used to be on the side of it just looks so cool. And now fast forward a couple of years to 2001, where the final McDonald's location to open at Disney Park would of course open with Disney's California Adventure in 2001. And this location, I've got to say, is definitely their coolest and most chaotic location. Just look at some photos of this, you can see what I mean. This thing just looked crazy. The front of this building had a massive burger just on top of it with the McDonald's logo and the Burger Invasion title on it. And this location also had the largest menu out of any of the Disney McDonald's, almost making it feel like it was a real McDonald's location. Of course, on the menu here, you could buy a Big Mac, a double cheeseburger, a crispy chicken sandwich, a chef salad, or fries. And then they also had a separate window labeled as McTreats, where here you could buy a McFlurry, milkshakes, and even apple pies. And just the theming around this place was crazy. Where you ordered the food, it kind of looked like this old retro American diner. And then all around it, like the tables and the condiment sections, was all supposed to be like this galactic theme where it had these McDonald's logos just everywhere. And overall, it's just so strange that this thing actually existed. But overall, I'm honestly a big fan of Burger Invasion here, and I think Disney really needs to bring this back to Disney's California Adventure. So that right there was all of the McDonald's locations located inside Disney parks, but what exactly happened to all of them? Well, fast forward now to 2007, where Disney and McDonald's needed to decide if they wanted to renew their licenses with each other or not, and what ended up happening is Disney decided not to renew that contract. So with their contract being over, it meant that Disney needed to close all of the McDonald's locations in their parks. So that's of course what they did in 2008. They shut all of them down. Most of them just rebranded into new quick service restaurants, while a few of them, like the fry carts in Frontierland, ended up just being demolished because they couldn't really reuse them for anything else. But one location actually did stick around for a few years after it closed. That location of course being Burger Invasion. It was shut down with all the other McDonald's in 2008. However, they kept this building just standing there for a few years, all boarded up, just sort of standing there doing nothing. They did cover up the menus and paint over the McDonald's logo, but going to California Adventure in the time that this was still there must have been weird just walking by this sort of abandoned Disney restaurant with a big burger on top of it. But of course, in 2010, that location was torn down and in its place was built a brand new restaurant. So looking back, it's just so weird that they used to have McDonald's locations inside Disney parks, especially since almost no fast food chains could ever be found in the Disney parks other than a couple of Starbucks locations. But either ways, it is kind of cool that they used to have McDonald's inside their parks, especially that Burger Invasion one. I'm a big fan of what that looked like. Anyways, with that said, everyone, that's gonna finish it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe, and go check out my other channel if you're a fan of Halloween. That of course is linked down in the description. Anyways, I'll of course see y'all next time. Goodbye.